First question is, are they multipliable? Are these two matrices multipliable? Yes? Okay. And the reason is because this is a 1 by 2 matrix. This is a 2 by 1 matrix. Middle two numbers are the same. And my result is actually going to be a 1 by 1 matrix. So that is going to be 3 times 4 plus negative 1 times 5. 3 times 4 is 12. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. So I get the 1 by 1 matrix of 7. Yes? Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Okay? Love it. So today, we're going to tackle 2 more things that we need in order to solve systems of equations next week with matrices. Okay? The first thing that we need is the determinant. Okay? So we're going to talk a little bit here now about what a determinant is. First off, a determinant boils down an entire matrix into one value. So the determinant is a number. Okay? That number can be positive, negative, or 0. Okay? But it's one number that is the value of the matrix. This value allows us to use matrices to solve systems of equations. Okay? So it's a very important number, but it is just that, one single solitary number. Okay? The next thing is that a matrix has to be a square matrix in order to find the determinant. That means that the rows have to equal the columns. So 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 1 by 1, 4 by 4, 98 by 98. Okay? Has to be a square matrix in order to find the value of the determinant. Very crucial. If it's not square, so if it was like 2 by 3, no determinant exists. You can't find the value of the determinant. You can't just chop off the parts that to make it be a square matrix and then go from there. If it's not square, no determinant exists. Okay? So if I am going to find the value of a determinant, okay, first off, the symbol for a determinant is, instead of having brackets, it's just kind of like a big old absolute value. Okay? So instead of brackets, it's straight sides. That's the symbol for determinant also. Okay? Or you would see the word determinant. Or you would see the 3 letters DET. Okay? All of those are the 3 different here then. Or the word determinant. All of those mean the same thing. Okay? In a 2 by 2, it is very simple. It's Chris minus cross. Okay? So it's A times D minus B times C. It's Chris minus cross. Makes you wanna jump. Okay? We probably that link up there. I guess right here, this link is probably going to take me to a VRBO ad. Okay, so it's crisscross, makes you want to jump. Okay. There we go. Now we can see people. Okay? And that's the value of the determinant. So A times D minus B times C. No. So if I need to find the value of the determinant of matrix A, okay, might see it as DET of A, and might see it as straight side 6, -2, 1, -4. Okay? But I take the Chris, so I take these 6 times -4, and I subtract off from it the cross. 1 times -2. 6 times -4 is -24. 1 times -2 is -2. -24 minus -2 is -22. So the value of that determinant is -22. Okay? Okay. It's a way to quantify that matrix. Okay? And then we'll use that here momentarily. Okay? Now, if we have a 3x3 matrix, okay, and we want to find the value of its determinant by hand, because on tomorrow's formative there will be one, so I'll find the value of a 3x3 determinant because it's cool stuff. Okay? It's done the exact same way, with the exception of the first step is that you have to copy the first 2 columns. So let me get this up here so that we can see it. Okay? So we are going to be recopying down the first 2 columns. 4 and -2, 1 and 1, 2 and 5. So I recopied them. That then gives me 3 Chris's that are going to be multiplied together and added. So that's going to be 4 times 1 times 3 plus -2 times -2 times 2 plus 0 times 1 times 5. Okay, so there's my 3 Chris's that I add together. Then I have to subtract off my crosses. 2 times 1 times 0. 5 times -2 times 4. 3 times 1 times -2. So that we just do that math then. So we got 4 times 1 times 3. 4 times 1 times 3 is 12. Plus negative 2 times negative 2 times 2 is 8. Plus 0 times 1 times 5 is 0. Minus 2 times 1 times 0 is 0. Minus 5 times negative 2 times 4 is negative 40. Minus 3 times 1 times negative 2 is negative 6. 12 plus 8 is 20. Minus negative 40 is 60. Minus negative 6 is 66. Yes, sir.
What about those 2 ones that you just didn't use?
What about those 2 ones that I didn't use? Yep. Nope. Just leave them. Yep. They're not part of it because they're not in the Chris's or they're not in the crosses. Actually, this one, so this one right here shows up right there. And this one right here shows up right there. So they're in it. Okay? Yeah. They're in it. But it's just how it works out. Okay? Find me those 2 determinants, please. All right, let's tackle the big boy first. All right, so we got negative 4 and 3, 1 and 8, 1 and 4. Recopy those first 2 columns. Then my Chris's are that one. So negative 4 times 8 times 7. This one, we like it when zeros show up. 3 times 0 times 1. This one, negative 5 times 1 times 4. Then I got my crosses. Minus 1 times 8 times negative 5. Minus 4 times 0 times negative 4. Minus 7 times 1 times 3. So as you can see, these numbers do tend to get a little large here. 4, 8, and 7. So that's 56 times 4. That's 224. Yes? So negative 224 plus 0. I will tell you that ones like this, that's going to be your biggest spot that you're going to make a mistake. Because you're going to see 3 times 0 times 1, and you're going to put 3. You're going to forget that times 0 is 0. Honestly, I've seen it 1,000 times. That's the biggest spot for mistaking in these things. Okay? Then we've got plus 5 times 1 times 4 is negative 20. Then we've got minus negative 40. Then we've got minus 0. Then we've got minus 21. Okay? So I got there, so negative 224 plus negative 20 is negative 244, plus 40 is negative 204, minus 21, I got negative 225. Yes? Negative 225?
I have 305. I have 65.
Somebody at home, back us up. We got 4 different answers going on in here. Okay. Then I know it's right, because if you got it, then I know I'm right. That's what I got. Yay? Hey?
I probably just didn't.
Wait, yeah,
Well-
what-
Go, talk to me.
I don't like. I just did something with like the adding and everything.
Okay, so let's go back and check. Negative 4 times 8 times 7 is negative 224. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. 3 times 0 times 1 is 0.
Yes.
Okay. Negative 5 times 1 times 4 is negative 20.
Yes.
Yes. 1 times 8 times negative 5 is negative 40.
Yes.
4 times 0 times negative 4 is 0. 7 times 1 times 3 is 21. So negative 224 minus 20 is negative 244, plus 40 is negative 204, minus 21 is negative 225.
Oh, I see. I don't know.
Did you went minus 40 instead of minus negative 40?
Exactly.
Yep. Yep, because that would be a different thing. Yep. Okay, so that's that one. Then this one, much easier. Okay, so my Chris, whoa, hey now, my Chris is 3. Whoa, tap the brakes, Lens. My Chris is 3 times 1 minus my Cross is 6 times negative 2. 3 times 1 is 3 minus negative 12 gets me a determinant there of 15. Yes?
I got that one.
You got that one?
Yeah.
2 by 2s are a lot easier.
Yeah.
Is there anything bigger than a 3x3 that we're gonna do?
That we're gonna do? No. No. If I got something bigger than that, we'd switch over to the graphing calculators because you can do determinants on the graphing calculators. So, yeah. Okay, love it. All right. So then my question to you is this: which of those two has a bigger determinant?
Is it so?
I don't know. I don't use it. I bring my own. Okay. So find me the value of each of those two determinants and tell me if matrix A has a bigger determinant or if matrix B has a bigger determinant. One times 5 times 9. 2 times negative 6 and 7. Choose all these big numbers. 3 times negative 4 times negative 8. Oh, what do we got? That's 45 plus 84 plus 96. 32, yeah, 96. Minus 35 times 3 is 105. Minus 48 minus 72. Oh, let's see. 84 plus 96. That's going to be an easier one. That's 180. 180 plus 45 is 225. 225 minus 105 is 120. Minus, so let me see where this was. 225 minus 105 minus, that would be 8120. So that's going to be 0, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's 0. So turn into 0. Okay? This one is 12 times 10 minus 13 times negative 11. 12 times 10 is 120 minus 13 times 11. 121, 143. So that is 263 for that value of that determinant. Yes? So B has the bigger determinant. Talk to me. Like, what do you mean flip-flop? You shouldn't, because it's all multiplication inside those parentheses. Okay? You know what I mean? And because those are just numbers, it shouldn't matter what order you multiply them in. Okay? All right. So the second concept for today is inverses. Okay? So if we're only going to do inverses of 2 by 2s, I don't want to even begin to show you the inverse of a 3 by 3, but it's super easy for a 2 by 2. Okay? So if we have matrix A, so over here, this is matrix A, then the inverse of matrix A, which is if we multiply by the inverse, that's like dividing. Okay? So the inverse is 1 over the determinant of A times this matrix. And this matrix over here is easily found. First off, we switch on the cross. Excuse me, that's the Chris. Okay? So we switch, we just flat out, straight up switch those two numbers. Okay? You switch them around. And then at the same time, you negate the other two. So you switch those two and you negate the other two. Switch on the Chris, negate on the cross. Make it opposite. So if it was -4, you'd make it +4. Okay? If it was 17, you'd make it -17. Okay? And that's it for finding the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix. Okay? Very quick, very painless. So if I want to find the inverse of this matrix, matrix A, okay, the first thing that I have to find is I have to find the value of the determinant of matrix A. So that's Chris minus cross again. So that's going to be 5 times -3 minus 8 times -2. 5 times -3 is -15. Bad 15. Actually, just a bad 5. Minus -16. So that's going to be 1. Correct? -15 plus 16 is +1. So the inverse of A is going to equal 1 over 1, and I get this 1 goes in there. That's where I got it from. Okay? Times a matrix. And that matrix is going to be, I'm going to take these two numbers and I'm going to flip-flop them. I'm going to switch them. So -3 goes up here, and 5 goes down there. I literally straight up substitute them. Switch them out. These two, then, I negate. So, and I keep them in the exact same spot. So this would be +2 up there, and -8 right there. And we can leave it in that form. We don't have to distribute. In this case, it would be pretty easy to distribute it because it's a 1 out in front. But if we would have had, like on the last one, if we would have had 1/263, okay, we can leave that fraction out in front of it. Okay? So let's let's just do that. Let's do 12, -11, 13, 10. We'll call it B. 12, -11, 13, and 10. So the inverse of B would be, well, the determinant of B is going to be 12 times 10 minus 13 times -11, 120 plus, we just did this, right? Okay. So the inverse here then would be 1/263, and you give me what the matrix is, left to right, top to bottom. You.
Do you want all 4 of them?
Yep, left to right, top to bottom.
10.
10, love it.
+11.
Love it.
13. Is that a negative or a plus?
This is positive over here, B.
-13.
-13,
And then 12.
and then 12. And that's it. And that's that. Okay. You now have enough information to finish up this week's worksheet. Not only that, but starting at 2 o'clock today, there will be a formative for this weekend opening up, which will deal with all things matrix. Okay? So there'll be some adding and subtracting. There'll be a couple of multiplication ones. There'll be a find a determinant. There'll be a find an inverse. There'll be some those crazy combo type ones. Okay? So yeah, so it's a quick and easy formative this weekend. Okay? That's all I got for you. Those of you